I'll never forget the first time I accidentally hit the wrong key while playing a computer game in the early 90s, and the screen just filled with raw source code.
Oh yeah, that immediate panic when you think you broke the game.
Right, I totally panicked. But then came this immense thrill. It was this empowering realization that anyone could just peek under the hood and see how things worked.
It's a massive shift in perspective, moving from just playing in a closed system to realizing you have the agency to rebuild the engine yourself.
Exactly. But today, it feels like the most powerful technology in the world is often locked inside a black box. Though there's this massive coalition of tech giants fighting to just tear that box wide open.
Yeah, they really want to change the foundational rules of how we build things.
So today we are taking a deep dive into a stack of sources, specifically the July 2026 OpenWeights Manifesto for American AI Leadership. Our mission here is to unpack this wildly optimistic moment for human innovation and figure out how you can directly benefit from the future of AI.
And the core premise of all these documents, it really draws heavily on the 1980s open source software movement.
Oh, right, because back then, the prevailing belief was that software would only advance if companies kept tight, closed control over their code, right?
Yeah, exactly. But instead, the community just opened it up, and that literally built the foundation of the modern internet. The manifesto argues that we need that exact same shared foundation for AI through what they call open weights.
Right, open weights. I've heard people describe open weights as the actual parameters or like the neural connections of the model.
Yes, that is the mechanical reality of it. You hold the core parameters that make the model function.
So you aren't just, pinging an API on a remote server. You're downloading the actual engine to run locally on your own infrastructure.
Exactly. And what's really remarkable in the sources is the massive industry support for this. You have signatories like Meta, Microsoft, Hugging Face, IBM, and NVIDIA.
Wow, so the biggest players are all in.
They are, because economically, this model drives down costs. It lets organizations match specialized, smaller AI models to specific jobs, rather than paying these massive compute premiums for frontier models to do every single little task.
Okay, so think of an AI model like a vast soundboard in a recording studio.
Okay, I like this.
The weights are the exact positions of millions of dials and sliders that perfectly balance the audio. So open weights mean you aren't just getting the final song, you're getting the exact positions of every single dial to tweak the mix yourself.
That captures the mechanics perfectly. You control the granular settings, you adapt the model to your own data, and you aren't locked into one provider's ecosystem.
And that granular control is exactly why companies are looking to build specialized agents right now. Which actually brings me to our sponsor, Embersilk. They specialize in exactly this.
Oh, right. Helping businesses train and automate these custom models.
Yeah, without needing a massive in-house research team, which is huge. So if you need help with AI training, integration, software development, or just uncovering where agents could make the most impact for your business or personal life, you should check out embersilk.com for your AI needs.
And that rush to build those custom applications, that really explains why this manifesto was published right now. It comes at a time of real tension.
In tension with the closed model labs, right? Like OpenAI and Anthropic.
Yeah, they are actively warning policymakers about the risks of foreign open models and this widespread practice known as distillation.
Okay, wait, let's get into distillation because it's highly technical. Distillation isn't just a model learning on its own, right? It's using the synthetic data outputs of a massive frontier model to train a smaller, cheaper model.
Right. You're essentially skimming the most expensive, hard-earned insights without paying for the initial compute.
Like a student learning from a textbook written by someone else. So why is that viewed as IP theft by closed labs when the manifesto just frames it as traditional iterative innovation?
Well, the closed labs argue that distillation allows competitors to just use American models to develop comparable systems on the cheap. They view that as unlawfully extracting value.
Interesting. So what do they want to do about it?
OpenAI advocates for a really coherent national framework to evaluate new models quickly. And Anthropic points out that once open weights are released locally, developers completely lose the ability to update safety guardrails dynamically.
But the open model advocates, they argue that transparency is what actually creates safety, don't they?
Yes, very strongly. They stress that having a global community of researchers examining these models allows vulnerabilities to be discovered and fixed far faster than any single closed team could manage.
That makes a lot of sense.
The manifesto highlights that openly sharing these tools broadens our defensive capabilities.
Right.
You're putting powerful tech into the hands of a massive global community of problem solvers.
So really, this vibrant debate just proves how fast we are advancing toward a new era of AI prosperity and collaborative innovation.
Exactly. It's a sign of a healthy, dynamic society, figuring out the absolute best way to share an extraordinary leap in human capability. We're solving this together.
It's incredibly optimistic.
Yeah.
And I want to leave everyone with this thought. If the 1980s open source movement built the internet, what entirely new foundations of society will you be able to build on top of OpenWeight AI?
We might be on the verge of AI systems collaboratively building that foundation right alongside us.
We really might. Well, if you enjoyed this deep dive, please subscribe to the show. Hey, leave us a 5-star review if you can. It really does help get the word out. Thanks for tuning in.